Welcome to the Michael Singer podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Decorative, Jam Masters. We are so caught in the frame of reference of our minds that very few of us ever get loose from that, ever see what's really going on. Spirituality is not about a particular set of mind, a particular set of beliefs, hopes, dreams, concepts, views, opinions, preferences, etc. These are all part of the state of mind. It's so hard for people to listen and talk about because they haven't gotten out. But I want to talk about a frame of reference. You have a frame of reference. Everybody has a frame of reference. So what does that mean? There's an area of consciousness called a frame that your mind is involved in. Those are your hopes, your dreams, your concepts, your views, your beliefs, likes and dislikes, and special people, and it's just this collection that we call in set theory a subset. It's not everything that exists. It's this tiny little subset of what exists. What makes the subset? Your thoughts. Please understand, you don't have so many thoughts. You think they're so noisy. There's such a noisy mind. You got nothing going on. Your thoughts are meaningless. I mean, how many thoughts during a day? How many things do you think about? I don't care, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000. How many things are there that could be thought about during the day? Mars, Jupiter, Saturn rings and storms and Jupiter. And like every minute, the way I look at it is every single spot in all of creation, on every single planet, wherever it is, on every star, what it's made of, what are the planets circling it, what the galaxies on every spot. Don't think about galaxy, this big spiral thing. It's made up of these suns, of these stars, hundreds of billions of them. And each one, we now know many of them, most of them, have planets spinning around them. What is the relationship between what's going on your planet, on every spot? There's something going on in there. How does that amount on that spot compare to everything that's going on everywhere? That's called the universal set in set theory. It is that which includes everything. You can make as many subsets if you want. Let's start bringing it down. Most people, I mean almost all people, spend 99.9999% of their lives focusing, I'm going to be big now, on what's going on this planet, which is such a gross exaggeration. There's no way you spend that much thinking about what's going on this planet. You spend your time doing what? What's going on in front of you, which is pretty limited. You don't see very far, hear very far. You have a limited amount of exposure, and it includes what you've exposed before. You've had other experiences that picked up this really tiny amount. I try to get this across to you all the time. I get this blank stare. It is the most important thing that will ever mean something to you spiritually. While you think that what is going on in your little subset of your frame of reference, which includes your past, your current, and even the thoughts about your future. I'll let you have all of those. How small is that compared to everything that's going on in your city, in your state, every point, not just Florida, every point there's something going on. How much do you experience? What is your subset? Do you understand? Please tell me. How small is it? It is so ridiculously small, it's not even worth talking about. And that's just what's going on in your little subset. Now, what about the rest of the planet? What about all the planets? What about all the stars? They are all the same. They are what's going on. They are reality. Somebody says, well, come on down to reality. It is reality. You just refuse to make it part of your frame of reference. You let your frame of reference only be that which you've personally experienced before, what you're experiencing now, and what you hope or don't hope will experience later. In other words, your mindset. How big is that compared to what's possibly going on all over the place? You should go home and never do it again. I'm serious. If you want to talk about spirituality, you can't talk about spirituality when you're talking about your beliefs, your politics, your thoughts, your likes, those are so small, it's ridiculous. Like, we have a bunch of people, I don't use any names, who are big nowadays. Politics, big in that, any side, I don't care. Okay? Get off the planet. Say their name. Who's ever heard of it? No one. No spot out of 99.9999999999999% of what's going on with so billions of nines after it will ever hear of that person, knows anything about those people. George Washington. You think they've heard of George Washington? What if there's nobody there? Still, he's part of the nothing that's there. There's just this entire universal frame of reference of which you have decided that only this little tiny minuscule amount matters to you. Please let me know. Do you hear it? And what I like to teach you, there is no difference between the moment that exists right here in this spot and the moment that exists somewhere on Saturn. They're moments in time and space. Einstein thought that big. He called it a time-space continuum. That's a big word. What does that mean? It means that not just what's happening now everywhere, that's the space. It includes everything that ever happened. Put them all together, and you have the superset, the universal set. If you are wise, and I try as hard as I can, you will spend the rest of your life learning to free your mind from this tiny, minuscule spot of what you've experienced, what you think is right or wrong, who you like and who you don't. How small is it? But your ego wants to say, but it's mine. It is not. It's just something that's there. You just are holding on to it in your mind. What if you got a bonk on the head and got amnesia? Not there anymore. That's all it is. It's just mind. It's something you're holding together in your mind. If you cease to hold it together, then it changes. Some of you guys do drugs. I don't like to talk about that, but I know some of you do, all right? So you have some experience. I had this universal concept. I thought my whole frame of reference, good, that's really beautiful. You came back, didn't you? No one ever didn't come back. Why? Because you're trapped in your tiny little mind with those tiny thoughts, with your past. You don't know his past, your past. How small is your past compared to the 8.3 billion people's past that are going right now all over the planet? Nothing. But to you, it's everything. That is what the word ego means. Finally, once for all, understand. The fact that you think that your moment is more important than every other moment in the universe. You do, don't you? What did he say to me? What did you say? It must really be important what somebody said at that moment in the middle of nowheres. How did it get important? Because you said it was. Is it important? No. It is no more important than any other noise that's coming out of anybody else's mouth at the same time of those 8.3 billion people. And that's just on a planet Earth. Who knows what the heck's going on? All I know is it's really big in it. I try to teach that to you, how big it is, just for a moment. You think the moments in front of you are important. And you think what's happened to you before is important. I've told you a ton of times, your planet, the tiny little ball of dirt in the middle of nowhere, 1.3 million of those planets fit inside the sun. How important can it be, anything happening on that planet, if 1.3 million of those planets fit inside one star, and there's 300 billion of those stars in your galaxy? How important is it what happened in front of you? Was it worth holding on to? How important are any of these things in the realm of what's called reality? Your mind is capable of tuning into reality, is it not? If I talk to you about 1.3 million Earths inside the sun, wow, that's a pretty tiny little planet. And there's 300 billion stars in one galaxy. And how many galaxies are there? 2 trillion. Now, how important are these things that have happened in your life? How long are you going to be here, by the way? Been a long time, right? 80 to 90 years. How long has it been here? How long has the planet been here? 4.5 billion years. And you're going to be here for 80 or 90, and you're saying the moments that unfolded in front of you, which are meaningless, are so important that you're going to just make a flaming mess of the whole thing. I don't like what you said. I don't like what you did. I don't like what happened to me. I wish that had happened instead. That is the problem with mind. There's nothing wrong with mind. You were given a gift. Your mind lets you think about the fact that there's 1.3 million Earths inside the sun. Your mind lets you think about the galaxies. Your mind lets you contemplate whatever you want. And that's perfectly fine. That's why you have one. But to sit there and get an ingrown toenail, sit there and say, a moment happened to me, because it happened to you, a moment happened to me 15 years ago. It's not happening anymore. It's just a moment in time and space. I will never, ever forget what happened then. I will never forgive anyone who was involved. And I will absolutely, for the rest of my life, I will remember what you did to me. You got some of those? Does that make any sense at all? That's what you decided to do with your 80 to 90 years on the planet in the middle of nowheres, become a neurotic mess. But you say, I didn't do it. She did it. She didn't. It's just a moving moment in time and space. All of it you did. What do you mean? You didn't make the event happen, but you didn't handle that it happened. Do you hear me? You were unable to handle reality in that moment. And so you suppressed it, repressed it, denial, resistance, do whatever you want. I teach you that all the time. Spirituality is so easy, but you won't do it. Events take place. Are you in charge? Were you in charge of every event that ever happened? No, they happened. Fine, they happened. Okay? Could you, inside your consciousness, your awareness of being, handle the moments that unfolded in front of you? They weren't very many moments. They were 1 out of 100 zillion. Could you handle it? And the answer is no. And that's the problem. Well, what do you mean you couldn't handle it? It happened. How do you know it happened? Because you experienced it. They're very good. It's called reality. If it didn't happen, you don't have to experience it. But it did happen. Came in, you experienced it. What did you do with it? You sat there and said, I don't like this. Who's this I? A mind. It's not reality. Reality didn't mind it one iota. That's what happened. It rained, somebody said something, it happened, whatever, it happened. Came in. You in there, the consciousness, the soul, the indwelling being, when the event came in, you used your mind to say, no, I don't want this to have happened. And you did this thing called use your will. These are the essence of spirituality. These words are so powerful. Did you or did you not take a force inside of you and push it away? I don't want this to have happened. Apologize. I don't like that you said that to me. What'd you do? It didn't come in and pass through. I resisted it. How's that for the word? Do you or do you not resist things that come in? And what power do you use to resist what already happened? Because spiritually, reality, don't bother because it already happened. It ain't going away. How about I say that to you? Nothing that ever happened ever didn't happen. I like when I can say truth. I got truth on my side, all right? Nothing that ever happened ever didn't happen and ever won't have happened, okay? But it came into you, didn't it? And you didn't like it. You in there decided, I don't know the words. I know I'm just a stupid little bump in the log here in a little planet in the middle of nowhere with one experience out of 700 billion zillion going on. I don't care. I don't want this to have happened. That is ego. That is what's meant by ego, that you developed in your mind the fact that I get to say no. Get to say no to what? To that which already happened. You can't make it not have happened. You will never make it not have happened. And if you do that, you will mess up your life. If you can't accept reality, what you will do is decide, I don't like that part of reality. I like that part. I want this to happen. I want this to have happened. You went in there and used this power called will, a force you have inside, to push away the experience that already happened and will never not have happened. If you understand that, you understand Freud. Freud didn't go deep enough, but that's what Freud discovered. He didn't study regular people. He did institutionalized people. Freud, at the beginning of psychoanalysis and all that stuff, they were institutionalized people. He studied their behavior. He talked about their mother, their father, this and the other thing. And he discovered, you still got mommy in there. You still got the first boyfriend, girlfriend that dumped you. You first got a blankie that went away too soon. It's still in there. It's not in there. It's not there. It's gone. It's gone from reality, but you didn't let it go. You used a force, and it's not Freud talking. What Freud said is you, whoever you are in there, he didn't talk about it, you suppressed. How? He didn't discuss that. He just said, no, I don't want to experience this. Who said that? Me, ego, my self-concept. And I pushed it away, and I held it in there. I always get there every time I ever give a talk. I don't know how not to. Is it still in there? Does it come back up? Are you sensitive about it? Do you have soft spots? Do things trigger from the past all the time? Why? Because you held it in there. Where did you hold it? In reality? In Einstein's time-space? No, it's already gone. It's done its thing. You held it inside your mind. You made a mess of this brilliant thing called your mind. Your mind can think of anything. Think of a galaxy far, far away. Well, there it is. Think of a big boat. Think of Queen Mary. Think of flying without a plane. Just soar through the sky. You can do anything you want with your mind. What did you choose to do? You chose to make your brilliant mind a storehouse of things that bothered you from the past. You couldn't handle them when they happened. You didn't like them. Didn't feel good. And so you pushed them away. Where do you think they went? You be Freud. Where do you think they went? You live in there, way. They didn't go anywhere. You pushed them out of your conscious mind down to what Freud chose to call your subconscious. So you develop this hidden part of your mind, depending on how deeply you suppressed it or repressed it or denied it and pushed it away. Then you're trying to live here, but you got your whole foundation is underneath. That's what the subconscious is. Does it come back up? Of course it comes back up. And it not only comes back up, you listen to me, it runs your life. It runs your life. If something happened in your life and somebody hurt you and they had a certain accent or a certain nationality or a way of being, do you understand that? The next time you meet somebody else that has those characteristics, you don't like them. It has nothing to do with them. They have nothing to do with your past. They weren't even there, but they do to you because you built this storehouse of important concepts and views and opinions and preferences and hopes and dreams. I'm telling you, I say those words because people tell you they're spiritual. They're not spiritual. Your concepts, your views, your hopes, your dreams, what are they? They are things that you held on in your mind that limit what you can do with your mind. Look how caught we are. It's because you held on to these things from the past because you couldn't handle them. You stored them inside. Now you're making every single decision in your entire life. How do I avoid what I don't want to experience ever again? And how do I get what I experienced before that I liked and make it happen again? That sounds rational to you. It is not rational. What it's basically saying is these minuscule experiences that I had during my little trip through my 80 years, through these moments through life and space, which are nothing. Remember, we talked about that. And look at me. Your experiences of your past are meaningless. They're statistically insignificant compared to all the other things that were going on that you weren't experiencing. You gave all the emphasis to what happened to be experienced in front of you. If something different happened in front of you, would you now be viewing things a different way? Would you have different opinions and preferences and hopes and dreams and concept views? They're meaningless. But you're not taught that because very few people have transcended the attachment to mind. They've built such a structure in there Yes or no? You think what you like matters. You think what you don't like matters. You think where you like to live matters. You think how you want people to treat you matters. You did this mind. It's all mind. Then there's this other thing called reality. What's reality? That which unfolded is unfolding and will unfold. And just there it is. It's unfolding. But you make such a thing out of it in your mind that it runs your whole life. That's the truth. You can't argue it. You can't sit there and say that because this happened to me is more important than what didn't happen to me. It's just what happened to happen to me. I went swimming at camp when I was 10 years old, and I saw a water moccasin. I will never go in water ever again for the rest of my life. They're poisonous and terrible, and people swim all the time in lakes, and there are water moccasins sometimes. I don't like to say it because it's one of these knock on wood things. I've lived out here since 1971. A long time, 50 odd years. Okay? Shh, there are snakes out here. We have seen rattlesnakes, water moccasins, coral snakes. No one has ever gotten bit, ever in all these years. And you all walk through the woods, people go places. Now you're not going to do it anymore. I know that. Do you understand that? And yet you would literally let your mind say, no, I don't want to go camping. No, I don't like to walk in the field. There could be a snake. You're right, there could be. What are you doing? You are allowing your mind to ruin your life. You are allowing your mind to ruin your life. A wise being does not live like that. They sit there and say, I am present in the moment that's unfolding in front of me. There have been moments unfolding me in the past. I learned from them. They're important, fine, but they're only important in relationship to the other moments that were going on at the same time I wasn't experiencing. Do you understand that? What you are experiencing is not more important than what you're not experiencing. I hope I challenge the hell out of you. What you are experiencing in reality is no more important than all the things you're not experiencing. Turn to the left, you experience something else. Look up, you experience something else. Close your eyes and miss what's happening in front of you. How can you sit there and say that what you happen to be experiencing when there's all the rest of the universe that's going on at the same time, that because you experienced it, it's more important than everything else? Can you handle my saying that? Can you see that it's not more important? You're just so lost in your mind because you had trouble handling the experiences. So now you develop what you want and what you don't want and what's right and what's wrong and what's good and what's bad, all this garbage. Why is it garbage? If the entire Earth blew to smithereens tomorrow, a few planets would change orbit and nothing else in the entire universe would even know you were here. Then that's called reality. But let's make a big deal out of everything. Such a big deal that we can't enjoy our life. You can't enjoy your life. Why? Because you've held on to things that bothered you from the past, and you don't want them to happen again, do you? You pick your significant other, your partners, all kinds of things based on what you think you want them to be so they don't bother you and maybe even make you happy. And I've taught you something that's very important for this side. When you do that, that is not a healthy thing to do. It is not a healthy thing to decide what you want and try to make it happen. Why? Because of all the hundreds of billions of zillions of things that could happen at any given moment, you pick one that will make you happy. So you wake up and you realize you have made a mess of your life. Why? Because your mind will only let you be okay when what's unfolding in front of you matches what you decided you want to unfold in front of you. And where did it come from? All your past experiences. There's not a single preference you have inside of you that was not programmed by your past. It's like a programming. You didn't type it in. The world brought it in through your senses and typed in your mind, I like this and I don't like that. So now I have to go make it be the want to be happy and keep it away from me that I want so I don't get sad. A wise person wakes up. That's ridiculous. Why can't I be happy? Why can't I just be happy? I got 80, 90 years. That's not a very long time, guys. Sitting on a planet that's been here for 4.5 billion. And there's going to be experiences unfolding in front of me. Good. I get to experience those experiences. And I get to work with them and I get to experience them. We'll talk about how you can interact with them. You do interact with them. You don't not interact with them. Don't get in your mind that acceptance or surrender is a passive thing. It's not. Life is an interactive sport, but it's not interactive that you developed how you want every single. Here, I want you to play a sport. I don't care. Let's say ping pong. Okay? You're going to play ping pong. But instead of going there and playing ping pong against somebody who's competitive with you, I want you to watch every move that person ever made before and memorize what you think they're going to do with every hit. Are you kidding me? You would drive yourself crazy. You'll tell them, you shouldn't have done that. You were supposed to do this. Because your mind made up what was supposed to be happening. You do that all the time. You say things like, why did it have to rain on my birthday? It didn't rain for days before. You mean that. It doesn't know it's your birthday. But you get upset. I'm yelling at you. How can you be happy if you do that with your mind? And the answer is, you can't. Who taught you that? Buddha. Has all these teachings. Buddha wrote all these books, all this very complex stuff. Then he had this thing called the Four Noble Truths. It's really very simple. Ready? Now that we've laid the groundwork for you, I made it easy for Buddha. You don't have to use many words. First noble truth. All of life is suffering, isn't it? Tension, anxiety, worry, self-consciousness, embarrassment, control, manipulative. All of life is suffering. If you define suffering properly, which means not having such a good time in there. If you're a beauty queen, you're going to have trouble getting older. I shouldn't have to give you examples. All of life is suffering. Doesn't mean you break your arm all the time. It just means life is suffering. You're not doing so well. Everybody, anybody. And the Buddha said the most amazing thing. He said, the cause of suffering. Well, that would be a book. No, it's one word. The cause of all, listen to me, I laid the groundwork for you. The cause of all suffering is one word. Preference. Desire, preference, same thing. They usually translate it as desire. The cause of suffering is desire. What is a desire but a preference? I choose the word preference because your Western mind thinks that desire means lust. No, it means preference. You have a way you want things to be. So the second noble truth of Buddha is the cause of all suffering is that you have a way you want things to be. Do you know how true that is? If you didn't have a way you wanted it to be, you'd have fun getting old. If you didn't have a way you wanted things to be, you'd have somebody treat you one way and tomorrow treat you totally different. You think it'd be exciting. Just imagine what it means to not have a way you want things to be. That you wake up in the morning and you say, I wonder what's going to happen today. It's going to be fun. We're going to dance what it is, right? And the third noble truth of Buddha, now that he said the cause of all suffering is preference, is to end suffering and preference, to end suffering and desire. If you don't have a desire the way you want things to be, it doesn't mean you're not happy. It means you're having a good old time. I want to go swimming today. It starts pouring. I don't want to go swimming. I'll do something else. The Buddha was 500 BC. He left his family. He was a prince. His father was a king. All right. He left the palace. He left the family. He starved himself. And he tried every single thing to try to understand why is there so much suffering? And it's really beautiful. One day he saw. He got past his mind. There's nothing wrong with the way it is. It is the way it is. I can see in a minute. Doesn't mean I'm not going to work with it. I'll give you that. Don't be jumping around. But it is the way it is. It is the way it is. That's how it is. Does it have to be that way? No. It just is the way it is. The moments unfold the way they unfold. And more important, because I know you resist, they unfolded the way they unfolded. They never will have done otherwise. It's not about right or wrong or good or bad or just or unjust, is it? It's about that's what happened. And so that's the third noble truth, which if you want to end suffering, he ended suffering. He became enlightened. He let go of his mind, and the next thing you know, he merged with the consciousness, which was his being. He became enlightened. He saw it all, and he was able to walk through life and never suffer again. So beautiful. right? Well, what's the fourth noble truth? The eightfold path of how to get rid of desires, how to end suffering. That's the true Buddhist path. The core of Buddhism is the Four Noble Truths that Buddha came up with. So what we're saying is, if you want to be happy, don't think that it means you're not happy. Oh my God, don't have preferences. No, I can't have a vanilla ice cream. I can't be with the person I love because I have to. No, it isn't like that. It's an understanding that your starting position is, I am fine with reality. Why? Because it's reality. I don't need to explain it. I don't need to justify it. I don't need to argue about it, do I? It already voted. It's already cast in stone. It's just the reality was the reality is the reality, and that's that. Now what? Okay, now we can go deeper. Now you go into different things like right action, understanding things. Okay, so now I'm here. I'm experiencing what's happening, and it's awesome. It's rainy, it's awesome. It's cloudy, it's awesome. There's rainbow, it's awesome. There's no rainbow, it's awesome. Somebody else saw the rainbow, I must say it's awesome. There's nothing that's not awesome. Okay, there, now I'm clear. I'm not suffering. I'm not in the presence of the moment complaining about it. I'm present in the moment, honoring the reality of what is going on. There's nothing inside of me that is resisting a single thing that ever happened, ever will happen, or is happening. I am present in the moment, and I am honoring and respecting, not tolerating. I'm honoring and respecting this miracle that it even exists. And that's where I go into a whole other talk, which I'm not going to do, which is there's nothing you see is the way it is anyways. There's nothing here. Go talk to your scientists. You were taught it's a bunch of atoms. Well, okay, a bunch of atoms. Where's male, female? Where's good, bad? Where's right, wrong? Where's just, unjust? It was just a whole bunch of atoms. Now we know there aren't even atoms. There are no particles. There are no electrons, neutrons, or protons. There's just a field of energy that vibrates, and those waves behave in a way that trillions of them come together, and they seem to behave as if they were a particle. They're not particles. There are no neutrons and protons, and there are no subatomic particles, or quarks, leptons, bosons. There are no particles at all. They're just like little wavelets in an ocean, and a lake, and a still lake, it makes wavelets. Those wavelets have properties that join together and make electrons, neutrons, and protons, and make your molecules, and make what you're looking at right now. It's not even here this way. Is that not when we looked down there and tried to find out what it is? And they found it isn't. But yet you're caught in it. Contemplate why, what is going on? It's all mind. If I have steam and then I slow down its vibration, you know what it becomes? Water. And slow it down even further, it becomes ice. Which is it? Ice, water, or steam? That's what Einstein said. Energy is matter, matter is energy. The difference is a temporary state. That's what he meant. So all of creation is electrons, protons, or quantum vibrations, then electrons, protons, then molecules, then complex molecules, then blah, blah, and bam, there she is. The point is, it ain't the way you see it, is it? Who is willing to transcend what we call the personal mind? That is the mind that needs to see it this way, isn't willing to get off the planet to grok the rest of creation, and isn't willing to look at all that has ever happened and ever will and is happening and say, hi, isn't that interesting? All right, now what? Let's say you were to reach that state. Oh, I would love for you to reach that state. Why? Because you will be in bliss all the time. It's amazing. It's just amazing. It's raining out. What is that? I don't know. There's this star in the sky that's so hot that it evaporates water out of a saltwater ocean and pulls it back up, and it coalesces together into a cloud, which then there's this stuff called wind that blows it across into dry areas and dry land and drops the ocean water totally purified so the trees can grow. It's an irrigation system, is it not? I didn't have to run pipes or do anything or have sprinklers. What waters the Black Forest? Because Germany is not bordering. That did, didn't it? And you go, oh, it's raining. You have the right to transcend what we call the personal mind, the mind that was programmed with the stuff that you liked and didn't like and suppressed and resist and just built this whole mess in there. Your intellectual mind, your analytical mind is still there. I talk to you about it. I know you can still understand what I'm talking about. You can live there all the time. You can be sitting there working. I train myself. You train your mind. It's a computer program, right? I train my mind that when I'm driving my car, I'm looking at the car in front of me, but I'm scooting around the planet Earth. I have the right to do that. You have the right to freak out. I have the right to do that. Mine can do anything. I'm still paying attention. You can pay attention at the same time, all of it. Well, you know you are. You're in there complaining about this and what happened yesterday and blah, 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 supposedly driving your car, right? Well, you could instead just go there and say, I'm scooting around the planet on this little machine that got made out of the metal that was on the planet. I don't know, man. It's pretty far out. Please, I beg you, you are deciding the quality of your life by what you are doing with your mind. And you're going to find out if you practice what we call witness consciousness, where you're noticing. That's all it means. Don't change anything. Notice what your mind is doing. You will get a stomach ache. You will not believe how disturbed that mind is and how much trouble it's causing you. And then what you do with it, instead of noticing it and fixing it, you go into that very mind with all its problems and say, oh, mind, what should I do to fix you? Get divorced and get remarried. Throw the kid out. It's the thing that's having the problem is trying to solve it. You will never find a solution from inside the problem. You have to step back and look at why there's a problem. There's a problem because I can't handle reality. I made a decision 20 years ago and it ruined my life. I've never in a case such. I'm so guilty. I feel so terrible that I did that. What in the world is a way like that to think? Of what use is that thought to drive yourself crazy for 20 years? What's a reasonable way to look at the exact same thing? Okay, where I was 20 years ago, thank God I ain't there anymore. I learned things. I'm smarter. I'm clearer. Honor and respect every single moment of your past. It helped you get where you are now. How dare you look back and say, how could I have done that? You could have done it because you weren't who you are now, and you didn't have the experiences that you had. Therefore, there's no guilt, there's no shame, there's no blame. There's just bring it on. If I didn't see it clearly before, thank God I do now, so I can make better decisions, but I ain't judging. Give me a break. Sit down and play the piano when you never played it before. You're going to make mistakes. Right or wrong. Now go study your scales, study Twinkle Twinkle, start doing some basic stuff. You'll be better at it. But don't hate the piano because you made all those mistakes before and you're embarrassed. That's what you're doing with your life. You're saying, I should not have made. Those are mistakes. They're not mistakes. They're learning experiences. Unless you don't grow. You have the right to grow. This is how I saw it. Then what came back was, and I see it different now. I can't fix it necessarily, but I've already fixed the problem, which was me. Now I see more clearly. How would you like to live like that? You just wake up in the morning, the world's going to unfold. I can't wait to interact with it. I will do the best of my ability to interact with it to the best of my ability. Not to get what I want, to try and serve, to try and make it nicer, to try and interact from a higher level. And you end up doing that. And there's none of this personal stuff. The personal mind falls away. But you have to train yourself. Otherwise, it's going to train you. Every second of your life, it will judge you. And it will carry all your garbage. How about the weight you're carrying in there? The whole weight of all the experience you ever didn't like in your entire past is still there. No. And so you wake up, this whole thing about the galaxies, the whole thing about Earth, the whole thing about, you're just a little piece of consciousness that's lost in your mind. That's what you are. I know you're proud of yourself. You hear me? Eventually, you will not be proud of yourself. If you look at that saying, I had these few experiences, and I made up a whole world about me now, and people have to accept who I am, and I'm embarrassed that they don't. You just stop doing that. You do it every single day. You wake up in the morning and say, okay, clean slate. There's going to be a world unfolding in front of me. I don't have to do you have to pedal to make the world unfold in front of you? You don't have to do a thing. Don't you dare tell me it's stressful. The sun raises, the heart beats, the lungs go in and out. 35 trillion cells divide, they eat, they excrete. They're all doing it by themselves. They're not doing anything. The planet holds itself together. If I tried to explain all the things going on by themselves, I'd be here for 65,000 years. It is going on by itself, isn't it? But you don't care. You only care about the stupid little part that your mind cares about. But I wanted him to like me, not her. But I wanted to be taller. Okay? And so you wake up, and every morning, I teach you this, you wake up and you say, clean slate. You have the right to have a clean slate. Hear me? It's going to start again in the morning. And you get to wake up and say, I'm going to do better. Not doing better what I want. I'm doing better, clearly see where I'm screwed up, how I can let go of all this personal garbage and start to expand my frame of reference to include you and you and you and you. And somebody, I don't know how to explain it to you, when you get to that state, not even finished, when you get to that state, you'll start making decisions based on everybody instead of you. You're in this group and you're not saying, what do I want? It's not doing that. You're just saying, what do I care what I want? I don't care what I want. The part of me that wants is a problem. I want to love her. So how can I help? You have to say that. You won't even say it. You'll just serve every moment that's unfolding in front of you to the best of your ability. Serve it to do what? To have a preconceived notion of what's supposed to be? No, you have no notion. Just, I'm here. It's here. What can I do to bring love? What can I do to raise the energy so that it'll be a little bit better as it passes by me, which has nothing to do with me being better because I'm already okay. I let go of the garbage of thinking it has to be the way I want for me to be okay. I'm always okay. I want you to be always okay. And so basically then life starts to unfold and you see it. And what you have to do is when you wake up in the morning, you sit there and say, I'm going to go through this day and I'm going to let go and I'm not going to put more stuff inside of me. I'm not going to make more preferences and hopes and dreams and concepts and views and beliefs that I think if this happens, I'll be okay. Have you not been doing your whole life? You had a toy you wanted when you're this age, you want a Barbie doll when that age, you want a boyfriend that age, a girlfriend that age, you want a house. It always had to be something that if it happened, you'd be okay. And yet you're still saying it and it's still something. It's never, ever going to be the way you made up based on your past programming, the way you need it to be for you to think you're going to be okay. Even if you get it the way you want, you're afraid of losing it, or you change, you don't want it anymore. It's so unsolid, it's ridiculous. The Buddhists say the world is transient. Christ said, build not your house on sand. There's no foundation. The thing just keeps changing inside of you, outside of you. And so you start by waking up and realizing, I don't need it to be a certain way. I want to learn to be in ecstasy no matter how it is. Well, what if it's hard? Good. It's like a sport challenge. What if I don't know how to make it be okay? Somebody left me or I had this or I got sick or something happened. Well, then learn to grow. Go through it and learn and become a better person because of it. Because every single second, every experience you have is for your growth. Everything. None of it's against you. The world is not supposed to be the way you want it to be. It will never be that way. It's not supposed to be that way. That's not its nature. Earth is a place souls are sent to evolve. And you have some evolving to do, don't you? What does evolving mean? It's happening and I can't handle it. So evolving means I can handle it. But what if it hurts? Then work with it. I can't tell you what to do. You have to know what to do. But always let the objective be, I'm fine. And if a part of you is not fine, I will work with that part. You can be strict, you can be loving. That's not my business what path you follow. But you are not in there trying to make it be what you want. You're in there trying to be whole and complete, honoring, respecting the realities unfolding through you. If you do that every single day of your life, wait till you see what happens to you. They're coming from all over the world saying it works. My life changed. I wasn't getting along with my family. I was about to leave my husband. The kids were in trouble. Then all of a sudden I realized it's me. I'm doing this. I'm the one that can't handle what the kid's going through. I'm the one that can't handle the way the husband's being. I'm the one that can't handle this. And if I decide, sure, I can handle it. It's just another thing that's happening. I can handle anything. And all of a sudden, you start feeling joy. So in the morning, you say, I'm not taking more on. I'm going to make it through the day without issues. And at night, you take a look. Did I keep some garbage from today? Because I don't want it in there. I don't want to be right. I want to be empty. Way more beautiful. When you're right, you have to defend it. You have to prove it, don't you? If you're empty, you're liberated, you're free. And then you come out and you do your best. And what's going to happen is At first, you'll have trouble struggling with the day. That's fine. That's like learning to play the piano. Please, I beg you, every single day, get better at it. And then what's going to happen is the older stuff will start coming up by itself. I always teach you this. I don't want you accusing me that I didn't tell you. All right? Why? Because it's in there and it's messing you up. It doesn't want to be in there. And now that you stop shoving new stuff on top of it, the old stuff will start coming up. Well, that doesn't sound like much fun until you decide you like it. Until you decide, wait a minute, if I let that old stuff go, I don't have to be afraid of anything that ever happens again for the rest of my life. I can have fun with life. I can be open. And all of a sudden, the harder it is, no pain, no gain. You start respecting the fact that you need to cleanse. And the more you cleanse, the more you let go. And the more you let go, the higher you get. And all of a sudden, there's all this Shakti, this energy pouring through you that didn't used to be there. Well, it used to be there if you got what you wanted. You got what's there. If you didn't get what you wanted, you closed down. So it was like a valve. It had a faucet. It could open and close, can it? All right? Eventually, all gone. No faucet, no doors, nothing. It's just open, unconditional well-being pouring inside of you, feeding you day and night. You understand you can be there. And you're trading it off for every once in a while getting what you want. And even there, you have to kill yourself to get it. All right? So we had to talk about a frame of reference. Your frame of reference is too small, isn't it? It's about you. It's about you. It's about what you want, what you don't want, what happened to you, what's right and what's wrong. It's just so small. It's so small. And guess what? Everybody's got one. You're just special. Everyone's got one. I guarantee you all 8.3 billion people on the planet Earth got one of those suckers. And it's different, isn't it? Then there's the rare being who let go, who dared to let go of the personal mind and dare to experience the whole of reality. And then ultimately, what happens, I'll do it very quickly. At first, you have to struggle with yourself. You have to replace your negative thoughts with positive ones. You have to do all kinds of sadhana, spiritual practices, to train yourself to think higher. Eventually, you don't have to do that because your mind has expanded into a much larger frame of reference. You don't get caught in the small things. You're sitting there and all of a sudden it's raining out. You don't even care. You don't know. You're fine. I'll get out and get wet. I tell him he has to get wet. I say, Mickey took a shower this morning. It's a free shower. It's fine. Have a good time. And just more and more, it gets easier and easier. And eventually, your personal mind cannot pull you down into it. You don't bother doing it. And then all of a sudden, there's all this expansiveness. You have no trouble staying high. Nothing brings you down at all. You are a great being, a being of pure light, pure ecstasy. But you're staring at this little mind that is so tiny in there. Come on, it's like pretty tiny. A relation, everything going on. And therefore, if you stare at that, then that's your frame of reference. That's why I talk about frame of reference. That is your frame of reference. Please, I'm begging you, expand it. Don't expand it to non-reality. Expand it to reality. Science will back you up. That's what's beautiful. They're teaching you about reality, teaching you about the galaxies and black holes, and teaching you about quantum level. Give me a break. There's so much you can think about instead of you, and you will be much happier. Okay. Well, I hope I made a dent in that personal mind. All right. Work on these things. Jagrata.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.